In 1801, Cardiff was an insignificant town of less than 2,000 people. It was the beginnings of the industrial era, and with the industrial factories being created across England, the need for coal was necessary, and so the mines started to dig coal furiously at that time. Because the docks in town was too small, this Marquis of Bute decided he would reclaim the land from the sea down here and build a huge dock to export Welsh coal to the 4 quarters of the world. Unfortunately for him, there were social upheavals taking place, Chartist rebellions, they're known in history, and the Marquis was unable to find local people to dig the dock. But as the ships kept going to many countries, many to Somalia, many to the Caribbean, when the ships returned, there were men on the ships, and they came and settled in the village of Cardiff, or this part of the village, near the new dock.
My name is Mariam. This is Adam, Bushra, Pedro and Amia. We're going to speak to you today about the website Britain from Above and why we've come to interview you. Over to Adam.
Britain from Above is a company where we took aerial photos from 6 to 100 years ago and kept them safe with the company, and now revealed them to everyone around the world to see Britain's past and now.
These pictures, they're from the olden times, they're from the past. Then there's more pictures on the website.
For the past few weeks, we've been learning about Cardiff's past, and we've been really looking into it and finding all the information about us. And we know you have more knowledge than us, so we would hope, if it's all right, if you could share some of your knowledge with us and tell us about Cardiff's past.
When you were younger, did you know many people here?
Dadkii guni rag waaweyn oo maanta kuba ka noqday yaan guni
dadkii waaweynaa mar baa dawaa wada waa isku wada khatibaan ahayn dadkii waaweynaa waxba kama joogaan leeyo dad badan baa ragii joogay nin kama noola.
When you were children, did your parents tell you stories about Cardiff's past?
ما يمادر ما حقيقة
But the people was ignorant by the squad.
Ignorant, they didn't know nothing at all.
Yeah.
When you were little and you went to school, what was your favourite subject and why?
Look, get a right to school.
He said we didn't go to school. They used to ride the camels. So they didn't go to school at all.
When you were children, did you see any of the buildings now being built or buildings that don't exist now?
لكن أنت وأنا من شرود ده لما جور بالسوي هلك كان إمك أنت طريقا أنا واحد مخبارات ليلة هذا بوسن بالورن شرود بسيم بنك كعب شرود أمريكا.
Was it easy to find a job when you were younger?
طبعا شقة هذه لا دور طبعا شقة يديني شرود كلا دورين شرود هلك كان كان ورش فاكتوري مركب.
It'd be offered any job.
Man باور بهاد مشيلي حسب شري. طبعا شقة هذا دون.
Yeah, you get them all.
I want to tell you a little bit of history of Cardiff before we start walking away, because we need to know why we're here and why all you children happen to be living here today. In 1801, all we had was the little docks along Westcott Street, and the reason it was the docks is because the River Taff, you all familiar with the River Taff? Yes? Used to run down Westcott Street, down to the sea. But in 1851 it was moved to where it is today so they could build the Great Western Railway Station. But back in those days, as I said, this was a village of no significance. However, in the valleys just 30 miles to the north, anthracite coal was discovered, which is the best coal on the planet Earth even to this day. Getting coal to other parts of the world was the difficult endeavour because it would have to come down the River Taff and go to the small docks alongside Quay Street. But there was a man with a vision. His name was John Crichton Stewart, the 2nd Marquess of Bute and 7th Earl of Dumfries, who owned the land in this area. Now, when the Marquess started the docks, it became so successful it was necessary to build a second dock, and so they opened up what became known as the East Bute Dock, and the original dock was now the West Bute Dock, and these became the industrial heart valve that transformed the village of Cardiff into a town and eventually a city, and now the capital of Wales.
Did you work with a friend or someone in your family?
Samee dadka wadanka jooga oo dhan cadaan iyo madowga cadaan iyo madowga shaqada waa la wada qab ku shaqo dadku mix waa isku mid marka hadee la wada shaqeeyo waa la dadku isbarto friend bay noqonayaan dadka oo dhan.
Was life hard in Cardiff?
ma adkayno waxaan lagu nool yahayna way uu ka jabmaa imika waqti imika oo lacagtu way yaray laakiin waxaa jabnaa waxaan lagu liib karin.
Right, okay.
What can you remember about the coal industry?
anigu dhowr markaba ku shaqeeyo hawsha waxay ahayd shaqo adag oo markabku gacmahaaga ku soconaya guryaha lagu shito maraakiibta lagu wado oo walashkoo la yidhaahdo oo ka wacan dhuxusha kale.
Can you tell me how you felt when Bute East Dock was closed?
There are dogs and some get no work at all.
There was no work.
They live with a little bit of money from the SS.
Yeah.
And we had some work in the shore, bricklayers help us, so building houses or building there.
They had to look at other
But the
things, other
ships
jobs.
had finished. All the seamen, some we got nothing. They get nothing at all.
No job.
Shaka, what the kayagi?
Oh, okay.
Dead and hunger, got nothing to
Died of
eat.
hunger. Oh.
No money or nothing.
Why did they close Bute East Docks in 1970?
waxa ku batay strike shaqa joojintii.
Okay.
Dabeedna they gone to Greece or Panama flag or Panama. Chiba.
Would you rather live in the past or present? Why?
marka la eego lacagta nimanka la helo lama heli jirin. telefoonada jeeb ku sitaa ma jirin.
He said they prefer the present.
markaad doonayso inaad waddankaagii war u dirto warqad intaad qorto ayaad qof u dhibi jirtay. marka caruurta tani makana waa good luck bay.
Say good luck for the children.
nolol cusub oo wanaagsan yay la kulmeen.
So they're saying the younger generation, all the kids that's here in the room, it's basically your lifestyle will be much better than what their lifestyle was back in the past. So they're saying, take the opportunities that's there for you and best of luck.
But even 2 docks was not enough. There was so much going on. In 1887, Marquis opened up the Roath Dock, and even the Roath Dock was not enough. And finally, they built the Queen Alexandra Dock, which opened in 1907. And with these docks, tremendous amounts of coal left Cardiff for the 4 quarters of the world. And we export, in fact, in 1914, for example, we exported 13 million tons of coal in that 1 year alone, making Cardiff now the preeminent city outside of London. And so banks were opened up here. The major banks opened up on Bute Street in 1924 and 1927. The National Westminster Bank opened on Bute Street, and it was the largest financial establishment outside the Square Mile. But the Square Mile is the city of London. And so that showed you how important Cardiff was at the beginning of the 20th century. Now, because of the coal industry being so fruitful, it was necessary to build a coal exchange, and they built it in Mount Stuart Square, and it opened up in 1888. and they did all kinds of deals on the wooden floor, selling Welsh coal to the 4 quarters of the world. A cheque was signed inside the coal exchange at that time. The first £1 million cheque ever signed in the world was signed right here in Cardiff Docks. Now, the wealthy people, as I said, lived just so they had big mansion-like homes around Loudon Square, Mount Stuart Square and what have you. But as the area became more and more industrial, because not only were ships coming here, there were steel mills, iron foundries, lots of factories all over the area. This was an extremely industrial part of the world. And so consequently, the town and the city was growing, and the wealthy people didn't want to be living around all this industrial activity, which was dusty and dirty. So they moved away out of the area, and their big palatial homes became converted from single family dwellings into boarding houses for different seamen. So there'd be an Egyptian boarding house, a Malaysian boarding house, a Somali boarding house, Arab boarding house, all kinds of different boarding houses all over the community to house all the seamen that were coming and going to sea. Our fathers went to sea. When they went to sea, sometimes I didn't see my father for 3 or 4 years as I was growing up, because he was away at sea, and that was the way it was for all the families in the area. But our mothers, our grandmothers who came from the valleys, even parts of England, Irish women and Welsh women married our grandfathers and great-grandfathers who were from everywhere in the world. And because of this integration, the area became known as Tiger Bay, and it was the first multi-ethnic community and one of the oldest in the whole of Great Britain up to this moment.